Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch. Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better. We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, March 17th. I'm gonna turn down my TV. It's loud. I've got March Madness on. It's March. It's Joe with me, by the way, tonight. Shout out to Joe. Joey Boots. I gave you another nickname last time. I don't remember what it was though.
It was
Joey Brackets. It might have. It was Joe, yeah. Not Joey Brackets. I feel like people are calling Joe Lenardi that. I don't want to put that on you. Joe Lenardi's an asshole, so I don't want to do that. But regardless, Joe's with me tonight. Yeah. It's March. Tennessee's got a dub first round. I mean, you can't hate. I'm going to turn it down. You can't hate.
No.
I don't even know if y'all can hear my TV, but.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it. But, however, it's going Joey's sports book for now. I was hot.
I like it.
We touched the ice cube, so we're cooling down. But
so wait, who'd you lose on?
Let's see. I don't even remember. I wanted to mess around in live bet. Brackets is one thing. Iowa kind of screwed me over. Other than that, I mean, I've been pretty fine with brackets, but I think I had some overs and unders that got hammered a little bit. So you know what? You can't stay hot forever, but
you can't stay hot forever, and you can't win them all. I mean, that's just the nature of the business. I will say this: I had Richmond over Iowa. And for me, I feel like I get one a year in March. One a year that I just nail. And I was like, Iowa is a fraud. I don't care they won the Big Ten. I do not care. They're frauds. I'm picking Richmond. I get one a year. That's it.
That's fair. Yeah, luckily I didn't have Iowa going too deep. I'm not I had one bracket. That was like a fun one that I had them like Final Four, I think, just for shits and giggles. But
that's
all
they're hot. But hey, so Iowa's hot, but that's I want to talk the difference between good teams and hot teams. And I think Tennessee has found that good mix. And we're going to, of course, talk Tennessee. We're going to start off the show talk Tennessee. I also brought my champagne bottle that Joe called me out on not finishing. I did not finish. I said I would. I didn't. I'll drink it tonight, though. I'll own the punishment of never finishing.
It's fine. You just got more tonight. That's how you got to look at it.
Exactly. Happy St. Patty's Day. I'm wearing my green. You guys can pinch Joe. That's fine. I split though. I had to get my orange and green in. I know those colors don't run, but I had to.
I'm not doing anything. I'm rocking LaSalle. It's not even relevant at all.
LaSalle.
Blue and gold.
That is Irish. If you ask Notre Dame, that's Irish.
Yeah, I mean it's Irish.
That's actually funny. You talk about losing games. I bet Rutgers live last night to win money line. They were like plus. I don't know, 210, I think, at one point, and I took it because I thought Rutgers was going to win anyways. And so not happy with Irish, and it's St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, it's once the clock struck midnight and it hit St. Patty's Day, Notre Dame turned on the Jets, and it was like we should have known better. We should have done a research. we would have got caught in that trap.
That was my fault. I wanted it to be March 17th so bad because it's like it is here. This is March. Yeah. Like, of course, you've had the conference tournaments, you've had playing games, but this is the madness that ensues. This is what we want. This is what we came for. I wanted March 17th, but you're right. I should have not begged for that so hard. That's my fault.
Yeah, it's just how it goes. It's fine. It's plenty of upset. There's more to come. We'll be fine.
I'm an idiot. You can say it. It's fine. Yeah, I definitely. Let's hope the heartbreak doesn't come like within, because I'm okay. Like, I don't know. Did you? I know you can't technically bet legally. Can you bet on DraftKings at all?
Before I got my account suspended, yeah.
All right, nice. I like it.
I'm a FanDuel guy now, but yeah. I mean, technically, it's
Okay.
whatever. But yeah, it's
right.
It's
So DraftKings had a boost that was Gonzaga, like $50 for Gonzaga to win. Nets you 50 or wins you $50. So I did it. I mean, that's 116, and I have Gonzaga in the championship, so I felt confident. But I wanted to root for Georgia. I would have been okay with a $50 heartbreak. I'm not going to be okay if Tennessee gets kicked on Saturday. And I'm going to be honest, after watching them today, after watching them last week, after watching them for the last month and a half, I don't know how Tennessee gets kicked against Michigan.
No, I don't think they will. Tennessee's it's like you talk about the difference between hot and was it hot and good? Just hot and
good. They're both. They're both.
They are both. They're the perfect mix. Like at first, I was scared because we talked about all season like, they've got to figure it out on defense. It's just we need to be able to. We were able to even find the shots. We just weren't making them. And now it's like Josiah Jordan pulls up, and I'm like, oh, that's probably going in. Same with Vescovi. I mean, it's just they're hot right now and from shooting, but all over the board they look fantastic. So I don't think. I mean, I think it'll be a good game. I think that'll be a really good slate on Saturday. But I feel like the only thing that scares me is if all of a sudden we go on a cold streak. It's a whole different story. But I think right now they have the energy. Like they're just having fun. They're doing what Tennessee loves to do, and they're having fun.
And that's why a lot of people bet against Tennessee. Maybe not in single games, but overall said Tennessee can't do it. They're streaky, like every basketball team. That's just basketball. They're streaky, but I feel like they have the defense to make that streakiness not look as bad. And I was talking about this earlier. Tennessee, obviously, they have more losses than teams like Kentucky and Auburn. I'm not trying to get into seeding talk, but they do have more losses. But when you look at those teams, they come to Villanova in early November, Texas Tech in I think that was early December. I don't remember what month that was, but early in the season. And then when you look at the losses, they come to SEC opponents on the road. Well, all these people want to talk about how SEC is only good at home. Then you can't discredit those losses when you talk about that. So I feel like you've got to find some balance there. And I don't know if that's unfair to other teams or more. I don't know. I'm a Tennessee guy, obviously. I mean, we're on the show. It's all orange. And I'm going to ride with him no matter what. I try to be fair. And my hesitation is Rick Barnes. I don't know how you feel in that situation. Rick Barnes isn't great in March. I mean, there's no way of cutting that. But this team's also really good. So how many – I'm not saying he had him at Texas, but how many of this good of teams has he had in March? I feel like that's got him very into your opinion of him.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I was thinking about today, I mean – as I start to get more excited and like the thought actually sets in that I'm like, this team's like 5 wins away. I mean, like it's like it's feasible. It's not just like, oh, if maybe like it's getting to the stretch and like, especially if we get down to like Elite Eight games, that's when your heart starts beating and you think, with obviously that team with Admiral Schofield and Grant Williams and everybody there, that was the team that you felt like really had the manpower and the ability to make that run. And Tennessee's not been, they've definitely been ones to fall short in tournaments, so it's not the best seat to sit in. It's not like I feel like I'm just confidence marching through, but something's a little different about this one. It's almost like we're not too cocky in our space. Obviously we weren't too happy with the seeding, but all of the players and coaching's just mentality's been like, we don't care. Give us a game. We're going to play our best game, and whoever you like. If we're going to make it to the end anyway, we got to play the best of the best. So just give it to us however you need to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm kind of like going back to the seeding. I don't care about being a 3 seed, especially because we talked about it on Sunday. I like our bracket when we look at how our layout. I think we got a good draw. I think Villanova would be a tough Sweet 16 game, but we talked about it right before we got on. That's a Sweet 16 game. That's I think we talked about it. Maybe I was on the phone with Dylan making sure he was good. Villanova in the Sweet 16 is Tennessee's seen them. And Tennessee's a different team than they were in November. They found way consistent, way different, more consistent guard play. They found big men that can be impactful. I would like to see us be more, I think aggressive is the right word. Today it's hard to be aggressive. Because Tennessee plays aggressive defense, 100%. I need to call out the person on Twitter. It was just a phenomenal clapback. It was somebody tweeted at John Rothstein, who loves Tennessee. He loves the defense they play. And he said, Tennessee, whatever the tweet was, somebody replied, all that tells me they did jack on the offensive glass. And regular Schmegular, whoever that is on Twitter, you don't have to do much on the offensive glass when the ball is going through the net 60% of the time. I mean, you don't. And I think that makes it a little bit more difficult to be aggressive there. But I feel like Uroš is way better when he is just body on body. Like that's where he has to be effective. And maybe you don't have to do that 60 when you're shooting 60%. And I mean, I know we should, I guess, specifically talking about today's game right now. I think that it's just a carryover. You talk about Tennessee being hot. Tennessee's hot right now. They're shooting well. They're shooting the ball well, and it's not just one guy. Vescovi's shooting well from three. Kennedy Chandler's shooting well from three. Josiah Jordan-James shooting well from three. You have all these guys shooting the ball really, really well. Could free throw, be cleaned up? Sure. You didn't have many opportunities though to shoot at the free throw line today. I know Saturday wasn't great. I need to go look at Sundays. I don't remember. Sundays wasn't great. I don't know if Saturdays was great. But when you're making those kind of shots, it doesn't matter. Like you can, and that's like Tennessee's streaky, but they're going to play well on the defensive side of the ball. So go make your free throw shots. Yeah, the three ball's nice, but go make your free throw shots. And those defensive battles, like the defensive battles you're in, they're going to take care of themselves kind of deal. And that's why I like Tennessee making this run. Because when they get in tight games, if they shoot their free throws well, and Vescovi's going to shoot them well in the last 5 minutes of a game, then Tennessee's got a great chance. Yeah,
I mean, you talk about them being streaky, and honestly, towards the latter end of, a little bit earlier for the regular season, it wasn't, it wasn't as valid, but I saw us. I was a little worried about non-home games and getting into the tournament, both SEC and then NCAA. But from what I've seen from the conference tournament, they're not phased. They feel like they're in TBA and they just feel like they're rolling through. I mean, they're able to, if they do, hit a cold streak. Like even today, there were some moments where it was like, okay, we slowed down a little bit, but the pressure on defense and the ability to move around and shift and play like the right plays on defense and cover everything the way they need to. Their risk management is the best it's been all season right now. And we saw that against Auburn and Arkansas when games got closer than we wanted to towards the end of the regular season and, all throughout with Kentucky in the SEC tournament. So, I think it puts us in a good spot to be able to manage those risks that might, that most teams in March are the reason they get out.
Yeah, I like what you said about Tennessee. They've seemed less streaky. I feel like those streaks have become, as far as, the negative streaks have become shorter and shorter in neutral court play. So I feel like that fares well for Tennessee. It's like in regular season, when you're away, those streaks seem to go like 6-7 minutes. Now they're like 3-4 minutes. They're not as long. They don't feel as bad. I agree. I think Tennessee in neutral court is you feared a little bit of the away court, but that was also early February, late January. Since then, they've been okay. So yeah, I like that. I agree. I think it's less streaky. It's more ideal. I'm a Tennessee fan, so it's hard to bet on. It is. I don't know, but I like it. Tennessee today. I don't get, and I've been listening to a couple podcasts, them live on TNT, and they're still against Tennessee, and I just don't fully get it. I don't understand it, and maybe that's the fan in me. I don't know.
I don't either. I've heard, especially with brackets and stuff, I've just watched a couple more breakdowns, just whether it's CBS or just really anybody. And there all seems to be this common theme of like once Tennessee gets to games like Villanova and possibly Arizona, if that's how the lay of the land plays out, there seems to be like this, Tennessee's a good team and they have all these things to say and they say, but I don't think like it's just this consistent, like it's almost like because Tennessee's not normally in this situation that they just automatically, which is fair. That's how it happens sometimes, but I don't think it's the credit's going where it should be in terms of like when they're breaking it down, looking at it. But you're right. Orange goggles are definitely on. So when I hear anybody basically say Tennessee's not going to win the national championship, I'm like, what? Cute. But that's my brackets are all going to be busted by the time that comes. But that's fine. That's just the way it rolls.
No, I agree with that. And then Landon just hopped in. I know I don't know if you got. Obviously if you're on the beginning of the show, you didn't know if Landon was here. Landon showed up. Landon, what's up, man?
Tell him, Joe. Tell him.
He flashed it.
The hotline is on.
The hotline. Krispy Kreme.
It's bright, boys. It is bright.
Oh, let me ask you this. Me and Joe were talking about hot versus good. Is Tennessee hot or good? And I don't want, are they hot or good?
I think they were good before. Now they're hot.
So would you say both?
Both, yes.
They're both. They are both. Yes, I like
it.
it.
Team that is hot. They're a good team that is hot. So like we were struggling to be at that like really consistently good, and now you've taken a team that almost at the perfect timing has figured out how to play really well and be a good team, and that almost in turn has made them get hot, and it's the perfect combination because I don't care. Longwood, put us anybody that's in the tournament, it's going to be like a semi-decent game. They got stomped. It wasn't
Longwood, Shortwood. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, medium wood. I don't care. It does not matter. It's just with the open shots that we have, most teams like we're going to be able to, putting up that kind of performance against anybody's a good indicator. Again, that also comes down to a Sweet 16 Elite 8 game, some harder competition, but there's nothing in my mind that doesn't make me feel like Tennessee's got a decent chance.
Yeah, name a team that's playing better than Tennessee right now. You can't. You can't.
People want to come up and deny it. You can't.
Well, I mean, look at Kentucky right now.
What is it? I left at that score. What's the score right now?
They're tied at the
I got
half.
the game on the TV.
37.
Okay. They just came out halftime, yeah. My bracket's already not.
Well, and that's the thing. You talk about what name a team hotter than Tennessee. There's not, and I know conference doesn't matter apparently. I don't get it. It's a March tournament. Don't ask me. I'm not making the brackets. But I found myself being way more upset about A&M than I am about Tennessee. I don't know about you all. I'm way more upset about A&M.
Yeah, especially watching some of the teams play.
Yeah.
It's not even that. I think Notre Dame, who I think they should have been in over. I think that Rutgers game, I mean, it was a just slugfest where they were just throwing haymakers at each other. And then Notre Dame kind of sneaks away at the end. And Michigan, kind of same deal. Like they stayed in it and then ran away. So it's like those teams, could they have been in? Sure. Did their resumes deserve it? Not over A&M's. Not over A&M's.
Yeah, A&M beats all three of those teams.
Well, A&M beat Notre Dame.
Sorry, Joe Lenardi, not Joey Booth. Sorry. That guy's just a moron, and he's backtracking.
Well, and then the dumbass tweeted at Buzz Williams. If you disagree with Buzz Williams' opening statement, you're a moron. I mean, you're a moron. So, first off, he just said if he dissed the NCAA, he just said facts, nothing else, just facts. And then everything else is like, I support my players. So I don't know how you hate on that statement. I thought it was a great statement.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Tennessee and Texas A&M got punished for playing well at the right time. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
No. I wish we had forfeited the game and gave A&M the auto.
Also, it's kind of dumb that if you win your conference, you're in the first four. That's kind of crappy.
Yeah.
No, accurate. You should be, if it's an auto bid, it's an auto bid. You're in the tournament, not the first four.
Right.
100%. 100%. Hey, let me ask you this. Where's Kennedy Chandler going in the draft? Before we get Dylan on here.
Man, oh my God. I would say in the 20s. And I think it's just
it's size, right?
Size. Yeah. That's the only thing. That and free throws, man. I mean, today. I'll give him that.
Can I get some Tennessee fans maybe going? If he's that late and Tennessee doesn't win a championship, is he gonzo?
I mean, you got to look at what's coming back next year. If Kenny Chandler came back, I mean, hey, yo.
So I realize what I'm saying. It's incredibly stupid. But if he's not a lottery pick, like people were floating the idea out there when he came to Tennessee.
If he's borderline, he's probably going. But if he's 20, 25, I mean, he's going to make plenty of money here.
Yeah, he's going to make money here, and he could be a lottery pick in 2 years. Draft class probably matters, but if he does what he's done this year and continues that pace, he might be a lottery pick.
See, I don't think the point guard class is very good this year anyway, so I think that might hurt.
But
Tennessee's
the overall draft class.
Yeah. The overall draft class, it's. I mean, I guess it's pretty. Like you look at the top two. I mean, Bankero
it's better than last year.
And Jabari Smith. Oh yeah, 100%.
Better than last year's. Well, we'll preview for sure, and we'll preview Michigan. I asked Dylan to come on. I asked him to come on at the same time as Landon. They might. Landon's
you're good.
Call him.
I'm gonna have to probably get out of here in a little bit anyway.
Oh, okay.
I just kind of want to say the hot signs on.
I love that. I love that you just did that. Let me ask you this: Saturday, Tennessee, Michigan. Who you got winning?
Oh, what? Tennessee.
I thought I got you. Somebody
predicted
the
score. Be out there doing that at Jameis Winston.
Somebody predicted the score right today on our Twitter, like 2 minutes after the game, which is pretty impressive. Did you see that?
I hate that shit.
I didn't get a chance to see that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe we'll send that person a shirt, or maybe we'll send them with a Joe special.
He flashed at the right time. Can we get Dylan on here? We're going to talk about bracket busters. So I do want you. I know Landon has to go. He's at work. Dylan, thank you for joining us. Small hand, you guys
barely fit on the screen.
I don't know if you guys have seen Dylan's face before, but this is Small Hands Dylan. Also, can you put on the engagement ring? Does it fit? He just got engaged this week, so congrats.
I don't have it. It's in Nashville. I appreciate it.
Dang. All right. I really wanted you to put it on.
You gave her a ring and then she left you?
Yeah, I know. What was I thinking? That might be a bad sign. Is that a bad sign? You tell me. You're married.
I would say it's not a great sign.
All right, fair.
I did want to talk bracket busters. All right. How's everyone's bracket doing right now? Because I know it's got to be busted at least somewhere. Where's the bust?
Screw Iowa.
Is that both y'all's?
Bad right now. I mean,
I had UConn too, so
okay.
I don't had Iowa getting only to the next round anyway, so it's not like the end of the world. But right now,
yeah, that's not too bad.
I had Indiana over St. Mary's. Don't jump on me, okay? I literally put together like 14 different brackets, so it's just the way of the land. But the ones that I need to hit aren't hitting. Creighton's losing. Indiana's losing. There's no way Kentucky loses. There's no way Kentucky loses.
No.
And UConn's going to come back, though. Don't worry about it.
UNC beats Baylor. You heard it here first.
Yeah, well, I had to beat Baylor. My friend talked me out of it last night at like 3 a.m. I don't want to talk.
Vol heel. He's a Vol heel. Listen to him. He's a Vol heel.
No, I mean, look how they freaking dominated Marquette. They're going to dominate in the paint against Baylor.
And that's what pisses me off. I picked UNC, or I picked Marquette because I hate UNC. I didn't look at any basketball. Nothing basketball. I was like, I hate UNC.
You just went straight bias.
That's my fault. Yeah, straight bias. It's my fault. Dylan, who busted your bracket? Who's messing it up right now? Was it Richmond?
Yeah.
Rich what?
That was one of
them.
Dude,
you didn't. You can't do that now.
I really screwed me, just like it screwed me.
Dude, that is one of the greatest sayings of all time.
I literally texted the group, Rich, what, and you didn't respond, you mother.
I know, because I was still mad that they won, but now I'm over it. It's fine. It was a risk-free bet that I'm still going on with FanDuel about right now. So
you're in their customer service line?
Yeah, I'm like, dude. And they do the chat where it like times out after so long, and it takes them that long to reply. So it keeps kicking me out. So I have to email them.
Did you get a free bet and you're not getting your refund for it, or what?
Yeah, it's kind of crap. They're like, oh, you get a risk-free soccer one. I'm like, no, I did not.
Landon will fight that to the death.
When was it? Was it today?
No, it was for the 13th. Oh, I'm taking it to the grave. That $10 is $10.
I figured because they'll take a little bit on that one. That's aggressive, that one.
Yeah. Landon will stop bet with FanDuel if they don't give a jump. He will.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
He's petty like that.
I'm gonna download BetMGM just to get out.
Yeah, but one of my
love
brackets is actually doing pretty hot. It's still at 98%.
It's not the one in the group though, is it?
It's
What
not.
does it feel like?
Put it in fans of Tennessee, and Tennessee is who I've got winning. So it's 98%. Feels like 98.
The hot sign's on.
Left at 98. But
All right. Speaking of, I want to talk March Madness. I want to get it over. Like I want to not over. I want to talk this over. Not get. I love March. There's nothing. I'm sorry. I'm a bigger college football than I am college basketball fan. There's nothing better than this month ever.
No.
You can't talk me out of it.
Month ever.
Yeah, but if Tennessee was actually competitive, we might feel differently.
All right, fair. Fair. I want to know who you're like. I'm not saying who you picked in your bracket. Who's your Final Four team that maybe most people don't have in their Final Four?
Ooh.
That I'd like to see or that I actually have?
I mean, you can have them, but like it can't be Kentucky, Baylor, Gonzaga.
Mine's UCLA.
Let's be honest.
I
That was my pick. That was
I
my
do have
pick.
UCLA in the Elite Eight. I have them knocking out Baylor, whatever round that is, the Sweet 16, I think, or 32 it would be, wouldn't it?
No,
It'd
it'd
be
be
Sweet
Elite.
16.
It'd be 16, yeah.
Sweet
Because
16.
UNC would have to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
UNC might do it.
Guys, I got a piece.
Also,
Take it easy,
It's
brother.
good to see you guys. Love y'all.
Good to see you.
I'll see y'all back Sunday. We're bringing the boat in and we out.
I like it. Dylan, who you got? Who's your random? Like I can't. You can say maybe there's 1-2 seed on there. You could say, but who's your random?
honestly, if they fight through it and stay hot, Iowa State could pull something out.
Okay. I kind of like that because when I said it could be a 2 seed, the 2 seed I was thinking of was Auburn.
It's a risque.
I would be shocked if Auburn made the final or the Final Four, but they might have the easiest path to the Final Four. Me and Joe were talking about this earlier. Kansas, I don't know if they're for real or not. And me and you were talking about this earlier, Dylan. I don't know how for real they are. I don't know.
And the 1 seeds haven't been hot so far.
Ugh.
Well, actually, I take that back. Baylor did put on a show.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
We were actually talking
anyway.
about this. How many teams have won by 30 in the first round? Tennessee and Baylor? Is that it? Gonzaga almost did somehow. Won by 20.
UNC. What was the UNC score?
UNC was 20.
Oh, okay.
Or yeah, it was 32.
So UNC, Baylor, and Tennessee so far. Oh, wait. No, UNC didn't? Which 20 is a lot. I'll spot them 20.
UNC did.
I'll spot them by 30.
Yeah, UNC was.
Okay, yeah.
63.
Almost 32.
32.
Yeah.
At 32. Okay. That's pretty significant. But no. The Gonzaga one's unfortunate because Robert Lanier is there. I was really I would have bet that $50 to see him win. I would have done it. I would have been glad to lose that $50 if I needed to. All right, who are you pissed to see doing well? For me, it's any Big Ten team. I'm so glad Iowa lost. I picked Richmond because I legitimately thought Iowa was frauds, but I want to see the Big Ten lose quick. I'm sick of the Big Ten's and elite conference talk. So anyone Big Ten, lose for me.
Memphis.
Think the Mocs could pull the upset?
Do what?
Think the Mocs could pull the upset?
I haven't watched enough of UTC this year. They are 27-7, but I think Illinois is good.
I mean, yeah, they're pretty good. So, but you never know. Weren't they?
I
Pretty hot
just-
in their conference tournament.
Do what?
I said, didn't they get pretty hot in their conference tournament?
They didn't play in the final. They have double round. Like they have way too many buys in the Big Ten. I don't even know what they like. I don't know how it works. Illinois has what's his name?
Kobe.
Covey. That's it.
Kobe.
Like, but is he good enough? Kobe, yeah, Kobe. Is he good enough to carry them? So they might win. They will win. I think they beat UTC. Are they good enough to beat Houston? I've bet against Houston too many times to stop believing in them.
If UAB can't do it, I think Illinois could.
Okay. All right.
I think Houston are frauds, but that's just me.
I will say Iowa has made the permanent ban list for my personal ban.
Iowa and Illinois have both met the personal ban list.
It got Riley, it got me. We're out on Iowa.
I can't remember the Iowa's coach's name. Apparently, he's never made a Sweet 16 at Iowa, where you're just gifted NCAA tournament berths. That's embarrassing.
Right.
That's embarrassing. Okay, another question. You guys can bounce them off me too. Another question I have, because this would be Tennessee if they win on Saturday, the next matchup. Ohio State, well, could potentially be their next matchup. Ohio State, Loyola Chicago. Do I think Loyola Chicago? I don't know if they're that good this year. I think they're good because they're previous years. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that they have a little bit of name bias. I think that people watch what they did the past couple of years or whatever and are going off that. I don't think they have that same strength this year. And I believe they have a new coach, don't they? That doesn't have any experience.
Yeah, first year coach.
Sure. I don't. I mean, Ohio State's definitely not. I mean, I think that's a good matchup. I don't love Ohio State. I don't think unless EJ Liddell is going to have a great game. I think Ohio State easily could be upset, but I don't know. I don't see them making a deep run or anything. But I don't know. I would be fun to see a Tennessee Loyola Chicago matchup.
I don't know how
Seems wrong to me.
That's a strong wish to be thrown around, in my opinion. But it does say that Ohio State and them average the same amount of points per game. So
Loyola's favored.
Yeah, it looks like their defense is about 7 points better. So if they're on, it could happen.
I know. I picked Loyola, but I just don't know how I feel. I think I picked Loyola because of their name. Because like you said, if EJ Liddell is on, but if EJ Liddell's off, how good is Ohio State? I think that's my question. Yeah, I think that's my question, I guess.
They're scrapping entry.
Nova's going to be either one of them, in my opinion, next round.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree too. Potential matchup, like I said, Villanova's really good. Yeah. All right. Another March Madness question: is Tennessee in the best situation, or is there one you'd rather see them in? And you can do another seeding too.
So you're
like I feel like people. Well, I feel like people have said the East is the easiest. I don't know if I agree with that. I think just because Baylor's not been good late, like not great, and Kentucky kind of same situation. And I think if you look past those two teams, I kind of see it. My fear with UCLA is UCLA literally got hot during this tournament last year. So that's my fear with them. Beyond that, I think it is an easy bracket. But me and Joe were talking about this earlier and last week. I think Tennessee is in the right bracket for making a run to the Final Four. I just didn't know if there was an easier one, or if what you all felt was an easier one.
I feel like if you go ahead.
No, you're good. I feel like the East is. I feel like the East might have more surprises. It's really gonna have to wait to see how Houston, Illinois plays out, stuff like that. But I just feel like Tennessee's better fit for that spot that we were put in. We talked about it earlier, Caleb. But like, if we were a 2 seed in a different region or whatever, I don't know that the East is exactly where I'd want to be. It just depends how that comes down later down the line, because you don't know if does Virginia Tech stay hot off of obviously their conference tournament. And Purdue, I don't know. Purdue could lose next round. They could make it all the way. I don't know. But I think Murray State, San Francisco is also going to be actually really fun. And I know people are picking Murray State, but I think San Francisco is going to win that game. And those feel like the teams that, while Tennessee is hot, those would be the teams that upset us in the second or third round. So I mean, I feel like the South's a good spot.
I like it.
I think they're in a good spot as well. The only place that I would potentially like it would maybe if they did get a 2 seed and were switched with Auburn, because Auburn I feel like has an easy route to the Final Four. But
I like that. I agree.
Close.
I think I would rather play, and again, positioning. I would rather play Arizona personally as Tennessee in the Elite Eight than Kansas, personally.
Yep.
I don't know if that means Arizona's a better team than or a worse team than Kansas. I don't know if that means the same thing.
Fair.
I don't know. I'm trying not to be biased. So going back to that San Francisco Murray State game, both of those teams could easily beat Kentucky.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, dude.
And I have Kentucky in my Final Four, but I think that's an upset waiting to happen.
Yeah. I've got Kentucky in my Final Four as well, depending on the bracket you look at, but the majority of them, which just, I don't know, because, I mean, Kentucky, it's so tricky watching how Tennessee played for them against them and, like, how I'm kind of zoning that into, like, a little bit of bias because Kentucky has the ability to absolutely, like, you watch how they beat us when they absolutely stomped us. If they can play like that, there is not an absolute team that can touch them. Like, when they get hot from behind the arc and just, I mean, they were hitting any shot in that game. When Sheboy just is pissed off and he just literally grabs every damn board and gets all over everybody, they are terrifying. But like you said, it's kind of the theme this March is that, like, one wrong move and they're cold and they could be out. Who knows, man?
And Dylan, I want to bring Dylan on to talk March Madness. First off, Dylan is we've got Joey Betts on with us, and he's hot. What are you, 19-2 now? 19-3?
I was 19-2. Was it 19-2 or 20? I think it was like 20-3 at the end of that night.
20. So 20-3. Joey Sportsbook, Joey Betts, whatever you want to call him, he's got it down. Dylan, Small Hands Dylan, is also just rolling in the parlays. So, and I don't necessarily need a parlay, but I'd like to lock one in before the next window of games. What do we need to lock in right now?
Let me take a look at the lines.
Do you have anything tonight? Are you on anything? Or are you just?
Yeah. Well, I had Indiana. That's going well. Let's see. Let me pull up my script.
See, I don't need you to fly by the cuff or anything. I want to rod. He just cut out on me. Somebody cut out on me. Oh, Joe did.
Yeah.
I mean, you can fly off the cuff, but you don't have to. Also, by the way, did you have St. Mary's in your bracket or Indiana? I had St. Mary's, easy.
I had Indiana.
See, I think I don't like people talk about the Big Ten being this great conference, being the best conference.
Yeah, I thought
they're SEC, AC, they're all.
Yeah, I thought maybe after the playing game they were going to roll in, but nope.
Didn't believe in it. All right, let me hear. I'll let you fly off the cuff here. Let me know what to. I'm gonna tell you. So whatever you tell me, I'm gonna do because I've got $100 sitting in my DK account right now. I'm not saying I'll put 100 on it, but I will bet on whatever you tell me to bet on right now.
Thanks to DraftKings for that Gonzaga boost.
Dude, I hated that I cheered against them.
I mean, you had to at one point because you thought it was going to happen, the upset.
And Ross,
in one of my parlays, I had them at minus 15.5, and I was like, well, this is dead. They come back and win by whatever it did.
Oh, you gotta love that. You gotta love that
game. Iowa State. I do still like that upset.
Okay. I think I'll ride with Iowa State. I have Iowa State winning. Is the interim coach as big of a factor in basketball as it is football? I don't know if it is. Because do these guys want to play now?
That's Michigan.
Fair. See, that makes me fear Michigan a little bit. That they're like, are they out for revenge for their coach right now? I mean, honestly, like, if I'm that coach that gets suspended, I'm walking into that locker room talking about F the NCAA, F them all. Like, we're gonna go win this and shut them. Like, I feel like that's an easy get behind. I don't know. I don't think Michigan's that good, and we'll talk that here in a minute. But I think Tennessee matches up well against them, but it makes me fear them. That's for sure.
Yeah, I get that. I think.
All right. Can I bother you for one moment?
Go for it.
St. Pete plus, what was it? Plus 850 right now, down 2 with 10 minutes left. Do we think Kentucky finishes out, or should we rod that?
Kentucky's got to win. There's no way that.
All right. That's good. I needed to be talked out of that.
For your value, I mean, if you got
they decided.
Sprinkle like a half a unit on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you got like a little bit of cash just to throw around on it, I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, 10 minutes.
All right.
It's one of those that like you'd be more mad that you didn't if it happens than you'd be mad that you lost $10 or whatever.
St. Peter just tied it up, so it just bumped down. I don't think I'm gonna ride it. It's 10 minutes left. I don't think they win it. I don't think there's a way they win it. Sorry, I changed TV over that game.
I think that's plausible.
I've got plus 7.5 here.
Oh yeah. Do you think UConn comes back and gets the win?
They took the lead, 53-52.
All right, I got him at plus 7.5, so I'm gonna ride that out. I'm gonna go take Iowa State right now.
I think I'm riding money line.
All right, I like it. Is that tonight or is that tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, right? Okay.
Yep. What even is that?
Let's do it. I'm gonna ride money line. Okay. Last question. I know Dylan hopped on just to help us out tonight, Dylan. And like I said, I ate off because I mean he wins more than I do, but he wins bets too. Who's the bracket? Like who's the person in the bracket that's really gonna screw you? Like I've got Kansas winning it, and I don't think Kansas is that good, so they screw me. How deep did you have Iowa going? You had them losing the next round, right?
No, I didn't.
No? You had them losing Sweet 16?
Yes.
Okay, that's not too bad. Because I think Kansas could bow out to Creighton personally. So I think Kansas is a terrible pick. I'm an idiot. Who's your bad bet? Like who is your terrible pick in the bracket that you should never pick? We probably should have done this before the bracket, but who is it?
Yeah. For me, it was the Jackrabbits. I really thought they could pull it out against Providence.
Yeah.
They did.
How deep did you have them going? How deep?
I thought it was hype.
Just that one win and then getting beat up.
Okay. Oh, that didn't bust it. That didn't tear it apart.
No, yeah, it was just a bad bet though. Like I put money on it, is what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. SMH. You living it?
You have one, Joe? Bad bracket? Bad bet, sorry. Bad bracket,
I
bad bet.
I got plenty of bad brackets. Is Texas Tech? I mean, I know no one's going to probably get. I don't know though. I mean, I think Washington Gonzaga play today. Some people might. Well, I guess it's too late to change anyway, like you said. But I don't know. Texas Tech. I'm just weird on Texas Tech. I've been in the idea that ever since Tennessee shot like 6 for 40 against them and we still lost, that anybody can easily just embarrass that team, like if they actually showed up. And I've been riding off that since whatever month that was late months ago. So yeah, like I feel like people are still really high on the Red Raiders, and I don't know. I feel like that could definitely screw some people over.
I have them losing Notre Dame. No, I have them winning Notre Dame. I also have them winning, and this is my next question, Dylan. I'll let you go after this, unless you want to stay on. You're welcome to. We're going to talk Tennessee versus Michigan real quick before we get to BaseVols, which I'm excited to do. Duke. When do you have Duke bowing out? Because I hope they lose somehow to Cal State Fullerton. But where do you have – I don't have them bowing out there. I would love for them to. Where do you have them bowing out at? Coach K's last game.
On one bracket, I do have them losing to Texas Tech in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, that's where I've got it.
But I think in most of my other brackets, I have them at least making the Elite Eight.
I hope they lose to Davidson. That's where I want them to really lose. I want Davidson to beat Michigan State, lose to 10 seed Davidson, Coach Cal. I wish. Coach K's last game.
It could happen. I mean, hey, that Hail Mary bet that I had, it got shot down, so I'm no longer cheering for Duke.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan had a $300,000 bet, Joe. And would you have two of the winners? Two of the, what, 7?
Yeah,
2 of the 6?
I got Georgia right for the national championship winner, and then the Rams right for the Super Bowl. And then I had Duke. And PSG is what really screwed me. I had them winning the Champions League, and they
– that was it.
Basically lost a 2-0 lead in 45 minutes, thanks to Benzema's insane hat trick. But that's beside the point. I'm not salty about it at all, obviously. But yeah, it was like $2.50. You know, just throw it out there on a lotto and see what hits.
And dude, 2 out of 7, 2 out of 6 is not bad at all.
Yeah, we'll see how the others pan out. I had the Warriors and the Avalanche, so we'll see how bad PSG really did screw it.
No, Duke's gonna screw it too. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah. I had no faith in that pick. I was just hoping I could get long enough into the bet to have a nice cash out. No, I made it to like $30, but that's what happens when you bet $2.50. But
I was rooting for that win. I was rooting for that
stick
win.
to your units. No unit shaming here.
No, none at all. A win is a win, baby.
Yeah, exactly. But I gotta hop off here.
Dylan, take it easy. Congrats on the engagement. Thanks for hopping on to me tonight. We'll do it again. Small hands Dylan, everybody. Small hands Dylan. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate Dylan hopping on. That was a lot of fun. Talking bracket busters. That's what I was. So I've got young nieces and nephews, Joe, and I made them fill out brackets with me, and they're all torn because they don't watch basketball, and they're my person lost week 1. I'm like, or day 1. I'm like, guys, my bracket's gonna be busted by 8 p.m. tonight. It doesn't, and I watch way more basketball than you guys, so it doesn't matter. It's fun. It's why we do it. Love to talk it. I do. So we're gonna get to BaseVols. I do want to talk Michigan. I'll say this: Michigan's guard play is not as good as Tennessee's, and when you talk to the people in March, guard plays matter. What matters? Tennessee's playing in the Sweet 16, folks. Right? Tennessee's playing in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I'm not even going to doubt it. Look, I know Michigan. They've had some. They beat Purdue. They've had really impressive wins. They sometimes look like a great team, and then sometimes they look like. And I guess it's kind of more a situation that it depends who they would be playing. But against this Tennessee team right now, like we said, I don't know. Is the line out yet on that game?
I haven't seen it. I went and looked at because they don't have I thought they had the time set when they set the region, but I guess they change them up every day.
-6, and there's no time set yet, but because they'll wait until the game's finished to turn that or whatever.
Yeah, so I didn't realize they did that. I thought that was kind of part of the tournament deal. Also, Joe, I love the way you say tournament. Will you say tournament for me one more time?
Tournament.
You say it differently than I just said. Tournament. That's how you say it. Like, I'll probably say it more country. Tournament. It's awesome. I love it. We're gonna talk tournaments all the time.
I used to say tournament, tourney all the time when I moved to Philadelphia, and it's tournament and all that stuff. And I got
I think
tournament, and
I think that's the right way.
Look, you don't take a tour of a building. I get it, it's tour and stuff, but whatever. It's the same thing. I went up there and I was like, oh, can I get chicken tenders? And they were like 10, like it's 10. So now everything's like 10. Or I got to get my Southern twang back on, but it's.
I love the tournament. I think that's fantastic. I think that's the best way to say it. It's just my Southern in me. Yeah, it's shortening everything and compacting everything. Going back to mid. I think the Tennessee person to me is like, this is a close game. I don't know how you don't ride Tennessee +6 or -6, excuse me, with the guard play. I don't know how you don't.
No, I don't. I honestly, today I thought Tennessee -18 was a stretch. I thought, March, close games. They're going to have to fight. I don't even know who Longwood is, but I'm assuming they're going to want to, after seeing how they play today. Michigan's going to be a decent step up from Longwood, but I won't bet on it.
I think
sprinkle.
Yeah, no.
Sprinkle
fair.
-6
That's
if I was an opposing fan, but and I think people are high on Tennessee right now, so I think that's going to be a pretty common bet looking at Michigan being 18-14 and not being the most consistent team. So I think if you watch how they played today and at the same time how they've matched up, and maybe they're a different team. Maybe when they get the tournament, they're that team that maybe like UNC, they're just gonna plow right through and make it to an Elite Eight or something. But I don't see it happening. I think Tennessee's riding too much. I don't think it's gonna be a close game tomorrow. I think it's gonna be a double-digit win. Count it.
it's not going to be a close game, but it's going to be much closer than today. I think it will be.
Yes.
I'm with you. I take Tennessee -6, but I think it's one of those games that Michigan's fouling late in the game, trying to stay in it and keep it close. But no, I don't think it's that close. I hate to say this, I hate to be the if guy, but if Tennessee's shooting well, and I argued this earlier, isn't that the same? Because people will say that all the time. Well, if Tennessee's shooting well, like I feel like I've heard that night in and night out for the last week and a half. Isn't that the case for any team? If any team shoots poorly, they're going to play a close game.
Yeah, I mean, and especially now that Tennessee's kind of not just relied on that shooting. We're rebounding way better than we were at the beginning of the season, and our presence in the paint just overall is we've been able to maneuver off of just. But yeah, I mean, when you got the shooting, the 3-point percent that we're putting up, that's great. But yeah, I think that applies. I mean, you pick the best team out. Arizona, they're not shooting well. They're going to lose that game. That's the thing about a single elimination tournament. That's what's going to happen. So, I mean, Tennessee does have to be on their game, but that's what we are going off the assumption is that they will be on their game. They have to be. Otherwise, they go home, and that's smart.
Right. And I'd argue Tennessee's one of the, 4 of the – I mean, it's not 64 teams left, but 4 of the 50-something teams left that if they don't shoot well, they still have a chance to win. Like, there's a handful of them. So I like that about Tennessee. Do what?
Who would you think that would be? Maybe what?
I would think Gonzaga's one of those teams.
Drew Timme was a monster today in the paint. They make it look way too easy to get open down at the bottom of the basket.
Right. I would think Auburn's probably one of those teams. I'm trying to think of the best defensive teams off the top of my head. I'm not doing a good job about it. Auburn, though, I want to say Kansas is not. I know Kansas. Like I said, I looked at the stats. Kansas isn't it. I want to say Kentucky's one, and then who's the fourth? I was trying to think because Tennessee's third defensively. I'm trying to remember who the fourth is.
Maybe. Yeah. Looks like maybe Arizona, but I don't know. Texas Tech is good defense, but I don't know that if they're not shooting well. Again, it's that they're already kind of they can be a low scoring team at times. So I don't know, but yeah, overall it's the same. Just that you have to shoot well. It's not
right.
March. You don't shoot.
It's part of the fun of March.
Exactly. I mean, if Tennessee can, I don't know. I mean, if they come out tomorrow or Saturday, and if they don't shoot well, you're right. I think they are one of those teams that. Not only do I think that they might not shoot well for the whole game, I mean, I think we're past that phase of where we just go in straight slumps for 40 minutes. But I think there might be some times where we get cold, and I think it might be the standard Tennessee close game that we start out strong, we look good, right. We feel high. They come out after the second half, they chip it a little closer. 5 minutes left, we start being like this 15-point lead or 12-point lead, whatever, start to go down. We don't want to slip it, and. I think we settle around 7 to 9 points. I think, right? I think the fouls, free throws at the end will help us a little bit. And, I mean, that's where I see it playing out as, but I don't want to speak too much on it because we might be really sad come Saturday night.
No, that's my biggest fear. I want to be looking back at this, and
I can't picture that right now. Because then that's the only problem is having, so invested in this team is, we lose against Michigan. I'm not going to be. I don't care about the Sweet 16. I don't my brackets are done. Tennessee was in the Final Four or Elite Eight for every single one. I'm not. It's done.
Right.
It's over. So March becomes very somber for me, and we guarantee MLB season or something. I don't know what goes on.
Lucky you. They approved. And apparently they're still working deals. By the way, for the MLB, I don't understand it. I do. I saw today. They approved a chain or approved a whatever deal that the MLB All-Star game, if it goes in extra innings, it turns into a home run derby, which I love. I feel like they already agreed to a deal. I don't know how that works out. No, I agree. Yeah, I think they did.
It's probably one of those stupid deals where it's this contingent right now, subject to change later on.
Right.
I don't know how all that stuff works, but that's for.
We'll get a man on second to start the innings is what's going to happen. They're we won't do it in regular season anymore, but we'll do it in the MLB All-Star game. Speaking of baseball, we are going to flip to baseball. Are you going to do score prediction? You asked Landon for a score prediction. Are we going to do a score prediction for Saturday, or are we just going to ride it out? Tennessee by 6.
Oh, geez. Yeah, why not? Run with that. 5,000.
Yeah, I agree. All right, good. I don't do score predictions.
Yeah, I found that Tennessee score predictions have put me in a bad spot for the game, so I need to stay off of it.
And when they score 85, I'm not saying this team's bad at scoring, but when they shoot well, they don't always score 85. So
Right.
it's hard to gauge.
I'm assuming without a route, it'll be low to mid 70s. Hope. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't shoot. Maybe fouls at the end make it a different game, but I would say low to mid 70s probably.
I like it. The point is take a -6, guys. We're gonna flip to baseball. BaseVols. It is SEC play. I hope you guys got to listen to Sundays with Cody Hahn. He is a VFL. He's also an ESPN analyst. He'll be on the call. Like he said, doesn't really know his next schedule, but at least for the next couple of Tennessee games. So hope you got to listen to that. But if not, Tennessee welcomes South Carolina to Knoxville, to Lindsey Nelson. First game Friday at 6:30. Before this weekend, I would have said, yeah, like that's a sweep. They went and stole freaking 2 games from Texas. I don't know what to think about the South Carolina team. I follow one guy, one South Carolina fan, that he's a South Carolina baseball fan on Twitter, and he acted like it's the end of the world. I have no idea what to think about the South Carolina team now. No clue.
No, yeah, especially like still being fairly early in the season. It's like, okay, well, was that just I haven't seen them in league play or anything yet or conference play, so who knows how that plays out. But I think it'll make it more interesting, I guess. What do you want a game? We'll get a game. So
right. No, I like it. Right. And I think it's more fun for Tennessee that they beat Texas. I think most Tennessee fans, I know the Tennessee roster is salty as hell when it comes to that Texas loss on Friday night a couple weeks ago in Houston. So I think it makes it a little bit more enticing this weekend series to open SEC play. But South Carolina's good historically. I don't know what they carry this year. I know their hitting isn't as good as Tennessee's. I know their pitching, again, historically, and this is a question for Landon. Landon should have stayed on for the BaseVols. That's his fault. Just tweet hate at him, guys, if you're hating on me for not knowing. But yeah, I just don't know a ton. I can't imagine they match the bullpen and the staff that Tennessee has to go 3 games with them. And I know Texas had a starter. I think the other guy was a reliever that has bowed out due to surgery for at least most of the season, if not all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it puts in a weird position, with those Texas wins. I think you're right. Tennessee's one of those teams that not only are they salty, but they're angry. They like to have fun. They like to play. They're gonna play with a little bit of extra passion, kind of like you can beat them. Well, we might have not beat them, but we can surely beat you, so you can stop talking about it. So I mean, and I think based off just straight stats and roster in general, I think we have a better matchup, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I think that added benefit will make it, a little more exciting. But I think Landon said it last week. I think that the atmosphere will be, more like it's to start picking up, especially with a team like South Carolina. So I mean, that's something to look forward to, getting back in that swing. March is winding down as baseball comes down to a close, and hopefully we get a little preview of the past couple seasons and Lindsey Nelson.
Yeah, and I think that's another good thing, like you said, to come back to Lindsey Nelson and like for SEC play to start off the year here, get things just. I mean, Lindsey, like first off, the guys have destroyed Lindsey Nelson. They lead the league in home runs. They lead the NCAA in home runs. I mean, you got guys like, and I'll get to Trey Lipscomb, but Drell Ortega, Jared Dickey, Blake Burke, and Christian Moore. Just guys hitting out of the park. Jordan Beck and of course Drew Gilbert, who you hope you get back this week. I don't know if that timeline been established yet for when he comes back. I know they want to have him back by this series, but you've got a ton of dudes that can step into his place, and I think that's the thing Tennessee benefits from is if one guy maybe seems to be in a slump, you've got plenty of guys behind them to play. I mean, there's no shortage of offense in this lineup at all. And that's going to benefit Tennessee not only in this series but down the stretch. And I mean the pitching staff's going to be just solid. I'm curious to see so Ben Joyce has been pitching, it seems like, an inning a weekend, And I know when you throw 104 like that shoulder, that elbow, they don't feel great. You're throwing as hard as you can when you're throwing 104. No matter how good you are, you're throwing as hard as you can. So I don't know how often you see him this weekend, but I think you see him more in SEC play than you have up to this point.
Yeah. I think you're right about the fact that changes a lot. This roster, it's depth. You're right. Like, I mean, it's important in baseball in terms of having that person that can step up. At Tennessee's full. I mean, the way that they're swinging right now and the way that they're playing the game overall, you can have that mentality where someone that is still able to apply like that teammate mentality and still able to, fire the guys up and be a part of that brotherhood and like that energy that you see come out of, the dugout, especially. I mean, Tennessee's probably got to be one of those higher teams in terms of energy and just having fun. But when they're pulled off of the actual field in terms of playing, I think Tennessee has no problem stepping in and filling that gap. And yeah, it's not the best time. And I mean, I guess we'll see how this weekend goes. You're right. I'm not following the timetable on that either, but either way, I don't see it being a deciding factor, but I think it's definitely still important.
Yeah, and of course you'd like to get a sweep, but getting at least a series win against South Carolina, it would be nice. So that starts Friday at 6:30. Your Saturday games at noon, and your Sunday games at 1 p.m. I think it's at 1 p.m. I know some games I don't know when they decide, but 12 or 1. So I think it's at 1, but it may be earlier. I imagine with Blade Tidwell still coming back from health, Cody Hahn hinted at him coming back for the Ole Miss series. So I imagine you still see Chase Burns on the mound Friday night and getting the things rolling. And then you see Drew Beam on Sunday. And God, I hate that I blank on so many names. I have a terrible memory. Chase Dolander. And I shouldn't forget that name because he has 5 or 6 strikeouts on the season now, which is just insane. 35, I think, strikeouts on the season is Chase Dolander. So I think that's the same lineup this week until Halverson and Tidwell get back. And I think Vitello hinted at getting them back soon this week, and we know Tidwell could be back against Ole Miss. So hopefully that's the case. But the staff you have now starting as your pitchers, South Carolina's fearing them. That's for sure. You don't see guys that are pitching like Chase Burns against number 1 Texas at the time, and which, I mean, South Carolina had no problem dealing with them at least twice. And but there's got to be some fear in there when you see a guy come up to there that's hard to hit against.
Yeah, Dolander does have 37, like you said. That's
37.
Yeah.
God, it's nasty, dude. Freaking nasty.
When you talk about just straight like statistics, you go up against that, you don't. You're already at a severe disadvantage. So I mean, in terms of everything in general, but playing on top of that, it's the same thing.
Well, I think it's my favorite part about this pitching staff, and it's been the case since Frank Anderson's been here, is I think it's a part of a guy, me personally, who hasn't found baseball so enjoyable for their entire life, is like they are attacking batters. I mean, they are making them make decisions. They aren't thrown away from them. They throw just, out of pitches that maybe shouldn't come at that time in the count. And it's just off balance, and they just go at it. And I think that's what makes them fun. And a guy that's throwing 37 strikeouts, like he's just throwing nasty stuff. He's throwing, 0-2 counts that you aren't expecting. I just love the way this staff pitches, and I think it benefits Tennessee, and maybe they got to change it up at some point, but it's working up till now. And it's a lot of fun to watch for me personally.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's definitely, you talk about fun. I mean, I think over 2 years, the Tennessee fan base is really, I mean, we can start a Quidditch team in the University of Tennessee. All fan base is going to get behind anything that does well. But I mean, I think you're right. I think it's one of those proponents that like it's more than the actual like playing themselves. Of course, they're playing out of their mind. They're great. They're a top 10 team, but in terms of just bringing a difference to the game, not even fun as much as just the style in which they play is such a big factor in terms of having confidence when you're playing teams. And you're right, that's shown all over the place, and especially on the mound. I mean, that's one of the distinctive differences that Tennessee's been able to stand out as, and it's certainly fun. You're right. I'm the same way most people are. It's been basketball and football most of the time, and we're really getting into that swing of football where it's like, Tennessee. I mean, depending how football goes next year, I think we might be back on top. I'm not going to speak too much. A good spot.
I love it. People ask me, right? People ask me, like, "Are you a baseball fan?" I was like, "I'm a Tennessee baseball fan." I technically I align myself with the Chicago Cubs, just because the Smokies, I guess. I've been a Cubs fan my whole life. I don't understand it. 16 was incredibly fun. I went to the games. I watched every postseason game, ton of fun. But I'm not a baseball fan, but I am a Tennessee baseball fan. If you do want to be a baseball fan, make sure you tune into the Bat Flip. Landon and Dylan, they've got it all down pat. That's why we do that Bat Flip show. Of course, when Landon's on, he's dialed into everything ball baseball. So make sure you tune in the Bat Flip. That's Mondays at 8 p.m. And they will recap this entire South Carolina series. And they'll get into it. But that's 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night. Make sure you're watching ESPN. I think it's on ESPN Plus tomorrow. Or is it SEC Network Plus, I think. SEC Network Plus. So make sure. No, it's SEC Network. Just the network. Really? I don't know the difference. All the same to me. Don't know the difference.
Normally
SEC Network tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, so is the Plus, is it part of the SEC Network package, or do you have to have ESPN Plus to get SEC Network?
I think
Plus?
it's every time I've seen like SEC Network typically will be still like so for ESPN app it'll be blue normally. I feel like it's still like watch ESPN or whatever, but every time it's SEC and Plus or whatever, it's like always at ESPN Plus for me, which I have, so it's fine, but it's always yellow, which is like the ESPN Plus or whatever. So
right.
I don't know, but it's like it's two the same. Just depends on if you
make sure you tune in for that. Right. And honestly, I hate to be a torchbearer for ESPN because sometimes they're very annoying. But did you grow up watching SportsCenter? I know you're a little bit younger than us, and I feel like I was the very last cutoff of watching ESPN consistently. Did you like wake up Saturday morning specifically and watch ESPN all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm right in that perfect age group where like it was definitely like one of those things that like it was. I remember like people used to ask me my favorite TV show. I was like, oh yeah, SportsCenter. Like it was just
right.
It's not. I mean, I wasn't like, oh, let me wake up every Saturday. But I mean, especially like the swing of football season stuff. I mean, yeah, SportsCenter was. I mean, you're falling asleep late with your sleepover with your friends. Scott Van Pelt's on the TV at 2 a.m. You don't know what's going on. But you're watching the top 10 from the day before, and you're just. It's loud, it's bright, but I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not obviously not as much anymore, but SportsCenter was always pretty popular for me.
See, I didn't know if you were too young because I feel like the last bit of SportsCenter. So my brother, who's 5 years older than me, I felt like I watched a lot of SportsCenter. Like I got into it because of him, and then it started like the hot take shows that are they're literally just disagreeing with each other just to disagree with each other. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. And I feel like that's when I died. So I didn't know when it died off. I couldn't remember. But, I feel
like the same for, like, in terms of technically it should have been. Like, I think nowadays still, even when I watch SportsCenter now, I'm like, Jesus, like, it's the same thing. It's all like, but you're right. All these different spinoff shows and those other crazy stuff that they do. It's like it's doctor's office TV at this point. Like it's not something that I'm gonna sit there and watch and argue with about and be like, oh no, Stephen A. Smith, like it's the same thing. It's just Twitter content and stuff like that. I mean, they're just playing their card right, but it's definitely not as entertaining in the original as it used to be. We can tell you that.
No, not for sure. And then I've got the next one. I just like NICO, all exclamation points. I think a total of 5 crystal balls now. Tennessee. So I know you've been a Tennessee fan for a long time. Do you feel like this is just a gut check, waiting to happen, or like is NICO? I don't know how to say his last name. Lamaleva? I have no idea.
Lamaleva? I don't know. I'm not.
Lamaleva. That sounds better than what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I know it's.
Yeah, we'll learn it soon enough.
Yeah, it's we like weird names sometimes, but I don't know. Was it the Arkansas game that he was at? It was Arkansas, right? It wasn't Auburn. Or was it Auburn? Basketball. I don't know why I'm
He was
thinking
at
Arkansas.
he was at Auburn. He was at Auburn. There were a bunch of people at Auburn.
Okay.
He
And
was
that's
at
what it was.
Auburn.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. He section to the left. Not only was there the "We Want Nico" chant, which got a lot of praise. You obviously saw the people he was with reposting it and they loved it. And it wasn't a dismissive oh yeah, he was smiling the whole time and stuff. But there was a good group of kids in front of us that kept screaming at him literally all 40 minutes, including halftime. The first 2 times it was oh, that's funny. It was actually almost bothering. We're in the middle of a game and it's Nico, Nico. And they're let's go. They had signs for him and stuff. But he even then, he still loved it. He was still showing. I mean, look, if you want to talk
Joey
about
Boots.
Yeah,
Boots
I mean,
knows.
give me an interview. Let's get him on the show. I have the hard pressing questions that I need to ask him. I mean, you want to talk about skill development and about what's the best move for his career. We can talk about that all day. I mean, we're still in an uncertain period at Tennessee. Josh Heupel's not had enough time to obviously prove what some of these other programs have to offer. But dude, you want to talk about fun and a fan base that's going to get behind you and make you feel like you've been there 10 years and you are just the most important person on campus. Tennessee is the only place that's going to bring that kind of energy. So it's up to him. I mean, if I think it plays into it a lot, but I think the shift is, he'll reach that top 5. We're looking good. I mean, it doesn't really surprise anybody. That's what we kind of had it narrowed down to before the confirmation anyway. But I mean, I think our chances weighed a lot better after that visit and after a lot of, national coverage has been pointing out the kind of fan base that Tennessee is offering him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And Tennessee's in ESPN, I don't know who the ESPN, way too early, top 25. Tennessee's top 10. I don't know how I feel about that. But, I mean, good news is that probably trends well for Nico. Yeah, I mean, it probably trends well for Nico, and that's good. And then obviously, I mean, however you feel about these recruiting analysts, I mean, they are entrenched in the scene. I mean, they talk to these guys, they talk to their families, they talk to the coaches, so they have a good idea. So I mean, we got the 3rd crystal ball today. I was going to say I saw 3. Landon runs our Twitter, if you're wondering. That's pretty obvious from now. So 3 crystal balls for Tennessee now. I feel like I'm too excited. Is that? I mean, and now Joey boots on the ground, like he said. We got to get Nico on the show. I mean, that's obvious. It makes me feel more hopeful for him. And so you're talking about Tennessee and Josh, what Josh Heupel's done. I mean, when you watch a guy like Hendon Hooker just was he bad at Virginia Tech? No. Did he look way better in his 1 year at Tennessee than he did his 3 at Virginia Tech? Yeah. And I feel like that's got to stand out. And then you get a fan base like Tennessee, like Joe said. It's different, man. I think there's fan bases like Tennessee's. I'm not saying Tennessee's that special, but Tennessee is special in that, they're going to buy in. I think a perfect example is Zakai Ziegler. If you look at college basketball and where he is, I mean, he's 5'9". He's not, he's long for 5'9", but he's not long. He's not a starter. And he's kind of taken on maybe it's because it's March, and I think he's kind of taken on the Tennessee fan base mentality, I think. Tennessee has the VOLS have bought into who he is. If you were anything like that guy, you're going to be, people are going to follow you. And I think, like you said, it's just how can you not want to come here? And I'm not saying it's the only place you want to come, but I'm not completely out on Nico. I understand it. I get it. So I'm with you. I think I wasn't at the Auburn game, but I get it. I don't know how you don't want to come to Tennessee. And I know there's better right now as it stands in 2022, the spring of 2022, however many 2022. There's better programs as it stands today, but also, I mean, do you want to be that guy? Do you want to be the guy to start turning around? I mean, that's got to be pretty attractive.
I mean, that's the other thing to think about it is when that's the thing to me is when you mix those 2 factors, not only is this team on the uptrend where you're catching them while they're still not the team that you're still catching them when you can get in there. And if you make a difference, you can be the the man on campus. You can be
The guy. Yeah.
I mean, like you are going to be the guy. I mean, I don't get how when you see how much the fan base reacts to you as a recruit, it's not like we've been tracking him for 2 years and it's like been popular for the overall collective fan base hasn't been on him for that long, but very quickly, all of a sudden, I mean, as a young kid like him, you got to be like just going on Twitter and seeing how many people are supporting you and stuff, like thinking about how that transitions to campus, whereas at some other places, you're just the next guy that's a good recruit in line to do what other people have done, where your expectations are set up and people are just kind of expecting you to do what everybody else has done. And if you perform well, good job, you little pat on the back. And if you don't do well, you get reamed. So it's like Tennessee's one of those places that either way you have it, like you can really make a difference in it. It just so I mean, I think also what I was thinking about today is that I feel like Tennessee, like Zakai Ziegler and stuff, it's happened so quick that like, but it happens across the board for the players that it's such like a change in not culture, but like playing culture. I mean, you look at like the Tennessee basketball team versus some other teams and like how they act in the locker room and how they bond and like how just like good kids that like they're still kids. Like you gotta remember that like they're still college. I mean, like I'm not saying much, but they're still
like, kids.
They're still kids. And like you see that with Tennessee. Some other programs, utilize and try to prioritize other things before that. But Tennessee, like they build into that mentality. And I feel like looking at someone like NICO, he would fit right in there and follow right behind with Hendon Hooker. So I mean, I'm bullish on it.
I like what Joey Boots is saying. I like what you're saying because I like that. I legitimately think he released his top 5: Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Miami, and Oregon. How do you not want to play for an SEC school as it stands in college football? So how is it not the top 3? Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. And when you talk about what you can be at Tennessee, that's got to be I mean, it's got to have an attraction that Tennessee's not in the depths of despair. They're on the come up. Josh Heupel, at least offensively, is bringing things to light. I'm not willing to say as a full team. I agree. I like it. I like NICO. NICO, all caps, all exclamation points. I am fully bought into NICO. I'm already putting the A in there. NICO Lamalea. Is there a V in there?
I think it's Lamaleva. We're gonna have to double check. Only way to get it 100% is directly from the source. So
correct. All right, NICO, you're coming on the show. You heard it from Joey Boots first. We'll make it happen.
Yep,
we'll do it. Can't wait for that. Let's knock out Stupidity's an epidemic. I think I already read off one in the show. That's why you gotta wait. You gotta sweat it out. Kentucky, by the way, is in overtime with St. Peter's. They're up 2. They are up 2, and St. Peter's just missed a free throw. Free throw is what matters in March, kids. Free throw is what matters. Yeah, we said they're just kids, so I had to say it. Kids, children. Free throws what matters.
I've got one. It's not now's a good time to just point out stupid people on Twitter that don't really understand this hashtag beat Tennessee is his name. I'm assuming that's just temporary, but if you think Tennessee is going to beat Michigan, get off my feed. His feed is entirely Tennessee fans, like 100 comments. It's just so I think he missed the mark that like get off my feed. Like you're the only one supplying your feed is Vol Twitter, so it's quite the opposite. And yeah, we do think Tennessee's gonna get beat Michigan. So I mean, it's the same one. That'll jump straight into my second one because people are just all over the place today. But J-Rod today said, I've been following Longwood all year. Most of you new basketball fans don't realize they have been a second half team all season. Just for your information. Well, I hate to tell you, but they didn't put up that much of a contest in the second half either. In fact, they were 2 points less than they were in the first half. They got outscored 27 to 34 in the second half. And that was with the last 7 minutes basically being an elementary school rec game where we're trying to just keep players healthy. So big miss there. Absolutely. Yeah, Longwood might be a second half team, but not against Tennessee. No one's a second half team against Tennessee.
Oh, I like that. I really like that.
We're feeling bold.
Sign me up.
Run through a break.
Sign me up. I'm going to go with Joe Lenardi. Oh, please. Joe Lenardi's my stupidity, man. And a couple of reasons. I've told you guys I'm more now, like, now that the, I guess, wear of it has come off that we're a 3 seed, because I don't think it's a bad 3. I think we got a pretty good 3 seed. I'm okay with it. I'm more mad for A&M. And then I was going to find the tweet, and then I ran across Uber Facts tweeted, "What's the most private thing you're willing to admit?" He tweeted that I stink at picking winners in the NCAA tournament. Shut up, Joe Lenardi. That's annoying. I mean, yeah, you study it. That's fine. Whatever. You're pretty good at it. My main one, though, is he said, "Love Buzz, love Gig'em. This is still wrong on many levels. It's terrible PR for one." First off, how is it terrible PR to defend your team? Don't get that. And it sorely misrepresents a necessary and perfect process. Shame on A&M for sanctioning. Where is the adult in the room? What's the upside? What's the upside, Joe? I'll tell you. Defending your team. You all, like A&M, you all, in that sense, fought and fought and fought to get in the NCAA tournament. And in my opinion, did more than enough. I thought Buzz Williams raised some great points in his opening statement. He said, you know, there's only a few teams that had a better SEC record, and their 4 seeds are better in the NCAA tournament. Right. So how are you not in? They beat Notre Dame head to head. He didn't even raise that point. I would have if I was Buzz. I just, like, Joe Lenardi is carrying so much water for the NCAA committee, the March Madness committee. I just don't, like, it's so stupid. They should be in. There's not a single metric. There's not a single metric that says A&M should be out. And I am okay. I would be 100% okay if the NCAA came out on Monday and said, "We messed up. We will get better." You owned it. Yeah. We're all wrong. I'm wrong. Joey Boots is wrong. I'm sorry, Joe. I love you, but Joey Boots can be wrong. Landon, not on the show to defend himself. Landon can be wrong. Like, we're all wrong. Just own it. And that's the most frustrating part is like, and that's one of the most frustrating. The other most frustrating part, and I don't want to say this before we play Michigan, but the Big Ten is overrated as hell. Like, yeah, they're not any better than the Pac-12. They're not any better than Big 12. They're not any better than ACC. They're not any better than SEC. To put so much weight in one conference is absurd to me. It's absurd. I don't get it.
Yeah, going back to your Texas A&M thing, what's wrong with defending your team at the end of the day? Like, if you don't, it's not like he came out and said these just awful things and was, making unnecessary points or whatever. I mean, he said whatever.
Just defend the team.
On Twitter, yeah. Defending his team. He's like his head coach. I mean, yeah, like if you are disagreeing with the outcome your team had, you're allowed to voice that opinion. And newsflash, NCAA bracket and tournament committee, it's not the first time they've gotten shit for a pick. I hate to tell you, but they're notoriously not like the best. People don't typically agree with them. Obviously, you're going to have fan bases that are going to disagree no matter what. I mean, you're right. Tennessee actually they're fine. We're in a good spot. You're right. I think I like the draw that we got. But at the end of the day, Joe Lenardi doesn't have the spot to be like, oh, yeah, Buzz Williams is going to – I don't know. That pisses me off that he's going to be like going that far and being that aggressive about someone that shows that they have true passion. And you're what was that called? Whatever the SEC special that they did about the SEC tournament when Buzz Williams came up to Rick Barnes and basically just praised him for 2 minutes before the game started. Like, I know he's a little boy. He wears his little vest and he owns it. But you know what? That's the kind of thing that a respectable coach, like he's got respect for the game. He's got respect for the coaches he plays against. So when he speaks up for his team, what's wrong with that? I mean, it's not going to change anything. It's not like he's, whatever. I don't know.
I'm glad you said that because I'm not going to backtrack on my Buzz Williams Little Boy of the Week speech. He still needs to stay the F off the court. I will not backtrack my Little Boy of the Week. But I have more respect for him now. I have more respect for him.
I agree. I was in the same spot. I thought, he needs a coach with the little backpack leash that pulls him back when he gets out to the court.
Right.
You're right.
Definitely.
And as a little kid, it fits. But at the end of the day, you're right. That's respect points. A good fan will admit when someone that they don't like earns their respect. And, he got a split over there. So
it's like this week. It's like this week. I got some shit for picking Kentucky in my Final Four. And I'm like, listen, I hate Kentucky as much as the next – probably more than the next Tennessee fan. But they're good. I mean, they are good.
Yeah, that's the difference.
You can't slice that.
I don't like hating Kentucky, with every bone in my body, as I do, doesn't have anything to do with where I think they might play out in the tournament. Like, if anything,
Right.
me hating them is probably driven by the fact that they're pretty good. You know, I don't hate
Right.
LSU and Alabama as much right now with a burning passion. Like, I've always hated Kentucky, but it's driven by the fact that, yeah, I mean, like, they're pretty good. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to risk my brackets and what I think will actually happen just to save my notion that Kentucky, like, I can say, oh, I hate Kentucky so much, they suck, they're going to lose in the first round. But if I think that they're actually genuinely an Elite 18, well, I can still hate them. They can still be good, but I can still hate them. No difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's where are they at right now?
They're losing.
St. Pete's up by 3 with 56 seconds. Who has the ball?
Yeah.
It looks like Kentucky's about to inbound. They should have 3.
Nobody.
God, let's go. Please. I'll cut down net. I got a net right here to cut down. I'll do it if Kentucky loses.
I don't know.
I'm not being a Kentucky hater.
Like, you know what? I will personally, if Kentucky loses right now, I'll personally take the L's in my bracket. I still got plenty of much better. I don't care. I've lost. Yeah, that's like $50 in brackets lost right there. But
I'm going streaking in the quad if they lose right now.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter is going to be awful. I'll be up till 4:00 tonight. I'm going to be in your. If you got Kentucky in your bio, I'm in your mentions tonight. You're not going to bed.
Joey Boots is in your mother mentions.
Joey Twitter, dude. I'm going to be all over him because you know what?
Joey Twitter.
They do the same thing to us, so I don't want to hear it. So if you lose this game, already
I love
it's
it.
Tennessee wouldn't be up. Tennessee wouldn't be up.
I love it.
St. Peter's. So
never. Do you have any more stupidities? I read off that one where that dude was like, no offensive boards. That was just a bad take. I don't. All right, good deal. I don't either, guys. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna finish this Kentucky game. Kentucky fans, I know you guys listen to everything Tennessee fans say for some reason. So just know Joey Twitter /Joey Boots /Joey Bets /Joey Sportsbook will be in your mother effing mentions tonight if you lose. And it's not looking good because you just threw an inbound out of bounds. Official review, you lucky dogs. It'll probably go on the way of Cal. But you lost tonight. It's going to happen. I'm going to call it right now. Thank you all for listening. I can't wait to be back Sunday. I think Lana will be back. Regardless, you'll have me. I think you'll have Joey Boots. Can't wait. I'm going to do Landon. I don't like this. We're bringing the boat in. We out.